I'm just going to raise my hands and acknowledge where I'm at. I am an invited guest into the Snohomish territory. I come from the Lower Skagit people north of here that time immemorial lived in Cookville, my people. So as I travel through today, I want to honor those that were here before me, those that were here today, and those that are to come. And I come with a peaceful heart. I come with nothing but good intention on my mind to be able to come into this land with a good heart, to be able to speak and live amongst this group. As I travel today, my time is precious. Our time is precious. We are here but a short time, but our time immemorial will stay here long after we're gone. As new people coming into this territory, you had no claim to this land. None. And we gave it up freely. So in your endeavor in this situation, when you do a land acknowledgement, I encourage you to have somebody in your organization do it for you. Don't rely on a token Indian to give a land acknowledgement. Do it in your own words. Learn about what we went through. Learn about what we suffered through. Learn about what we gave up freely. Learn how we live today. The land and the waters that I traveled through and have lived here with my people, we touch the waters of the lower Elwha, Jamestown, Sklallam, Squamish, Muckleshoot, Puyallup, and our friends who are still struggling, the Duwamish, who are looking for recognition, and the democracy. We all look to be recognized, our voice heard, our words spoken to be heard and not treated as trivial. We had what everybody wanted, and it's this land. So when you want a land acknowledgement, I encourage you to do it yourself. And don't invite somebody to come and do it for you again. Because this is what your job is when you welcome people into your land. This is now your land. But I'm here to remind you, this was our land. And that's what I acknowledge. I acknowledge the trauma. The genocide, the hunger, the starvation, the sickness. But I am also here to honor the other side of the coin. We have thrived. We have become the driving force in the economy in many counties. My tribe is the number 3 employer in Skagit County. My brothers in the Snohomish have to be leading the way. And that's what I come to honor. I come to honor those that have endured what the new people have brought to us. And as we get close to celebrating this 250-year mark, we need to be what that document says, all equal. So I thank you once again, thanking you for your time and your presence here today. This is how we say thank you in our community. We raise our hands and say thank you. Thank you for allowing me to be here today. All right, thank you. A little introduction here. My name is Spokaiakud Cladusbid. I come from the line of a treaty signer of the 1855 Point Elliott Treaty. His name was Cladusbid, my great-grandfather. I am the fourth generation from the signing of the treaty. Thank you. I actually don't need that.
We want to hear you.
But
Maybe if you just are a little closer to it.
I did. I was standing way too close. I told you.
All right.
Where's my technician?
I know, he's getting a hat because it's too sunny.
All right.
Just talk really loud.
Check.
All
Tony.
right.
Oh, you don't want to use the mic?
Technology is not something that our people are used to using. This voice of mine I inherited and was gifted from my people. This is my job at home, is to be a speaker for my family in their time of need. When we lay our loved ones to rest, my job is to take care of the family, take care of their wishes, and make sure that we do things honorably for the people. It's a little bit of my background. Like I was saying before, I come from the line of the treaty signer of the Point Elliott Treaty. This is ceded land that was ceded by us for the new people, so that you could prosper and live. We knew about your coming long before you got here. We knew about the formations of states. We knew about your laws. We knew about the genocide. We knew about the starvation, the bad food. We also knew that we wanted to survive. Survival was our highest priority. By the time we left this area and moved to the reservation, there were less than 200 of us. There was 8,000 of us living in Penn Cove prior to first contact. And first contact to the settlement was about 50 years. So when you're just kind of sit in my shoes for a little bit and think, how would your life be if 8,000 of your family members were right here? And they slowly started to die one by one. From 8,000 to 200. That's almost extinction. If I were an animal, long before I got to 200, I would have been put on an endangered list. An animal. Which reminds me, we are the only group of people categorized by your blood. How much Indian are you? And the biggest thing in our communities is the life of a community member living within the community. So when you dwindle down to 200 people, your mindset changes. We have always looked 7 generations ahead. Like I said, I am the 4th generation from the signing of the treaty. My great-grandchildren will be the 7th. They will see what I have done. I will not leave them treasure. I will not leave them land. I will not leave them wealth. but I will leave him my knowledge. That's the only thing I can leave. He who dies with the most toys is not my society. We do not accumulate wealth. Our wealth was accumulated to be distributed. We had gatherings where this took place. Many of you heard something about it. It's called a potluck. A potlatch, excuse me, I'm hungry. I'm thinking to myself right after I said that didn't sound right. But the potlatch is where we gave away our wealth. Guests were invited from all over. And those guests that we meet, that come to greet us, was how we determine land acknowledgement. I can't come onto this land. Well, I guess I can rightfully. My people are the Snohomish also. My grandfather married into the Snohomish tribe from the Swinomish tribe. That's how we kept peace. That's how we organized within different communities for the good of the community. You can't go to war with the next group over if you got family over there. You're going to go over there and kill your family. That's not how we lived. Time immemorial, we learned how to live together with our brothers of the sea, of the air, of the land. And that's where the spirits come from. When I was called home to Coopville, I heard these cries, the cries of my people, come home, come home. But when I got home, I ran into opposition. The things I say out loud, and I mean out loud, I'm not a quiet person. I rile feathers. I make people think. I offer direction. But in doing so, it creates enemies. And we have always sustained this type of toleration from the new people. We have tolerated it until today. We say no more. No more disrespect. No more trying to wipe me out. No more bringing disease into my community. We, as a tribe, are called the Swinomish Tribal Community. My people lived in Oak Harbor, Coopville, Otsalate, Stanwood, the Skagit River, all the way up to the Cascade Crest. That's my land acknowledgement. That is who I am. And I lay claim to that land. But it was ceded. I can only take it in spirit. I can only honor the land when I'm there, that my ancestors were there before. I have a big UNA. A UNA is your usual and accustomed ground to inhabit and to travel without encumbrance. Without anybody saying that I don't have the right to be there. That time has changed. but I still lay claim to the land, to the water, to the spirit of the land, to those that live on it, and in it, and under it, and through it, which our spirit comes out of when we die. That's why my people, and I heard this cry of my people, come home, come home. Now is the time to start spreading the message of the people that used to be here by the people that used to be here, without opposition, where UNA can truly become a frame of mind that people accept rather than reject. I got rejected in my last job. Cost me lots of money. But that's besides the point. I made my point and I made my roots and I made sure that people know I'm still here and I'm not going anywhere. This is home. This is life. This is my roots. When I travel, I represent me and me only by bloodline. I don't represent the Swinomish tribal community. I am a part. I'm a part of the Swinomish tribe. I have no legal right to say this is the Swinomish way. When I talk about it, it's my way. This is how I live. This is what I consider life. You know, we all have a God. We all have a creation. We all have something that believes in us, that grounds us. When I pray, I do not pray to the Western God. I believe there's one out there. He's just not my God. And I choose not to pray to him. I grew up in a religious home. I was the third generation baptized in our church. Something inside me never allowed me to accept fully that word. There are similarities. There are things in that great book that tell about our life and the way we live and the way we think and the way we conduct. But that does not mean that that's my Bible. Mine is from where I sit and who I listen to. We are a matriarchal society that has its rules rooted in the women leading us. I always said that if this country had assimilated to our ways, life would be so much better. If you had just taken our advice and listened to your women, life would be better here. It is a proven fact that matriarchal society is a better life for the community. My wife is adopted Tlingit. She's just as much of one of the new people as you. But she assimilated, and my goal is to make her an Indian.
Good job.
Just like your government, their goal was to make me not an Indian. Ha! Ha! I say, no. Those roots run deep. My wife's name, Adanik, means keeper of the knowledge. She's adopted Tlingit. The Tlinkits were the ones that came down here and beheaded the man that sought to make this place home.
Yeah.
There was somebody else that was supposed to be taken that day, but they were not available. So Evie became the next one. It's not the first time that our land was defended. We gave up this land peacefully, like I said, because we knew what was coming. We had warring tribes in these communities, my relatives to the south, my relatives to the north, and we're all intermarried into those tribes. So it's not like we don't have the bloodlines of a warrior. We do. But a true warrior knows when to lay down those arms and quit fighting for the good of the community. And when you get to 200 people, you got to look for the good of the community. Because one of our groups that we settled with on the Swinomish, the Kikialis, are gone. One of our groups are gone. They were the ones that settled in Oak Harbor. My people. When I live today, and to come to this gathering, I prepared no notes. I have to ask my wife, what am I supposed to talk about? Because she's the one that keeps track of my time, my place. And I'm subservient. She says, go, I go. And that's what needs to be followed in this culture that we live in now, because it lacks it. The teachers, the educators, the ones responsible for creating empathy and love, the women. Us men have to learn this talent, learn this. And the only way we learn it is by our women. The more empathetic you are, the more stronger leader you had in your life. Violence, oppression, beatings, those were not our ways. But it crept into our society. I am a product of spousal abuse in a family. But I'll give you one short story. I grew up in an alcoholic home. And I loved my parents dearly. But I got tired of the beatings. I got tired of looking at my mother with a black eye. That wasn't taught by my people. That came and was given to us in our assimilation process that we call residential schooling. That's another deep subject. When I talk, I do not talk with anger, because I can't be angry about the past. The new people here in this community and this island had no responsibility to what happened to me. But you profit from the outcome. Just look at just this island, and you consider how much land this was worth. I should be a rich man, but I'm poor because of what was done to me. Put in my place, in my prison, not free to roam anymore. My prison was a reservation. That's my prison. And it's a life sentence. But you look at anybody in prison with a good mind, and they realize that's home. And they have to make it better. So irregardless of where you're at, your ultimate goal in life is always to make your life better. It's taken us a long time to get there. When we started Canoe Journey with my tribe in 1998, I went on my first canoe journey. There was only 4 tribal members that did the whole journey. And in our canoe, we had to rely on our other tribal canoes all around us for paddlers. Come paddle with us. Please, we do not have enough help. And that's where the acknowledgement starts to come in tribally. When I did my land acknowledgement today, I do it as I'm traveling into a new country, a new territory, and I have to ask permission to be there. Because it's the only way to travel through the country is with permission and protocol. When we started in 98, I was afraid to speak because I was afraid I would offend those I was going to visit. But I soon realized that if it comes from here, it's not going to offend. It's either going to educate, or it's going to motivate, or it's going to create the anger that we've learned to live with forever. And it's the same opposition I was talking about in my last job. But when we did that, we did it for a purpose, to bring our songs, to educate the next generations behind us, because we're intergenerational. I grew up in a household where I, being one of the youngest, all the way up to my great-grandfather, uncles, aunts, cousins, all in the same area. When I do this acknowledgement, it comes from the heart. It's not something that is meant to offend, but make you think. And when we started that journey, because saying there was 4 of us, and it was our birth in the canoe journey. Last year, in our last journey to Lower Elwha, when we start walking into the protocol tent, my community came and rallied behind us when it was time for protocol. Everybody from the reservation came to be with us when we stood on the floor to represent the tribe and thank the Lower Elwha for coming, letting us come to their territory. There were 400 people that came from my tribe to stand on the floor. We went from 4 standing on the floor in every community to 400 today. That's the important part of the work that I do about the community and making sure the community grows and is represented in an honorable way. When we do this journey, it's about the peace and the friendship and the time that we have together to allow us to grow as a Native people, to prosper amongst ourselves as a community. I'm just being told that I'm time to wind down. I have no ticker in me. I don't, like I said, I do not prepare this message. When I come here on times like this, I do not come alone. Today I physically travel with my wife, but I guarantee you I do not stand up here alone. I have my guidance. I have my protectors. They travel with me. These spirits travel with me wherever I go. They give me the words to speak, when to speak, how to speak, what the message should be. Because it has to be tailored for the group that you're talking to. I can't do that. I have limited knowledge. But I rely on those that travel with me. Some believe, and it is called the Holy Ghost. You know about the Trinity. The Holy Ghost is the one in that Trinity that gives the knowledge, the wisdom, the ability to speak, and the words to speak, and when to speak. Like I said, we all have a religion. We all have a belief. I have a creation story. I have a creation of my people, and it deals with water. So when I talk, I want to thank you. And I'm just going to wrap up. Thank you once again for allowing me to be a part of your day, to be a part of your time. And I thank you for coming to listen to what Lou and I have to say today. All we do is come with a message. And my message today is the same that it's been since time immemorial. We have to learn how to live together. And if you want a good example about how to live together, look to people like me in our communities. Time immemorial, we lived here without major wars. We are a warring people, but we know when to be peaceful. So once again, I thank you and raise my hands to each and every one of you today for taking your time to be here. Hey,
Tony, invite him to the potluck.
Okay, I got one piece of information. Every third Thursday, we have a group that meets at Pacific Rim Institute. The third Thursday of every month, we have a potluck, and our group is called the Call to Allyship.
Swadops Alliance.
Swadops Alliance. And it's to come together as an island community to learn how to start living together. We have people from Oak Harbor to Langley come to us. We have a group of about 75 people that come to see us. We have about 20 that show up on a regular basis. And it's a time just to come together and learn about how we can work together to be a part of a community. Thank you again.